Hey, so I've been using Northwest Registered Agent for over a year now, and I figured it was time to give a real no fluff review based on actual experience, not just the first impressions I got or the spec sheets that I was looking at in the beginning. Now, when I first signed up, I was just looking for something simple. I didn't want to deal with long wait times, confusing and aggressive upsells, or my personal data, floating around on public records. So I went with Northwest's $39 plan. I got my LLC set up pretty fast, and the fact that they use their address instead of mine for the public filings, that to me at the time at least alone was worth it. Now, I also got a full year of registered agent service included, plus an operating agreement and some other starter docs. It was clean, straightforward, and just no spammy and aggressive upsells. But here's the thing. At first, I didn't really touch any of their extra features. I didn't need to. I didn't need EIN help. I didn't need compliance alerts, and I just wanted my LLC filed and done. But what ended up happening was, over time, I started realizing how handy some of their other services actually are. Like, for example, when my first annual report deadline came up, their system sent me a heads up before I even remembered it was even approaching or due. Now, then at one point, I had a second LLC that I needed to form. That's when things got really interesting. This is where you want to pay attention the most in the video. Look, okay, so the second LLC that I was setting up was for a way more complex business. It wasn't just me freelancing this time, doing a couple passion projects. This one involved me actually bringing on a partner, multiple members, and I actually needed to register in 2 different states because we were doing business across borders, okay? And I'll be honest, I thought that I knew what I was doing. In fact, I was gonna try to do it alone at first, but there were a lot of little things that I didn't even think to ask about. For example, we needed a multi-member operating agreement that actually reflected ownership percentages, member responsibilities, and all sorts of things like that. This is where Northwest really came through. So I actually ended up calling them, expecting to be put on hold, expecting to be bounced, between a few different departments. Instead, this guy gets on the phone. I wish I remembered his name. Not only does he know what I'm talking about, but he walks me through the exact language that we'd want in the agreement. He sends over a customizable template and even reminds me that because this LLC has foreign registration in another state, we would need a certificate of good standing before even filing there. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, that could have delayed, our launch by weeks if I had messed that up. They didn't charge me extra for the guidance. They didn't try to upsell me on some consulting package. They just helped me get it done, which was like key at the time. It felt less like a service and more like having just a quiet professional assistant right in your corner that you have direct access to. You know what I mean? Which was super helpful. Eventually, I ended up upgrading to their full service package just because at that point, I just trusted them. I started using their EIN filing, document storage, compliance reminders, and the experience just kept confirming that I definitely made the right choice with them for sure. The support being as sharp as it was really key. The dashboard's simple. They don't nickel and dime you every single time you need something like so many others do. I've reviewed a bunch of other services here on the channel, and yeah, some of them are decent, okay? Otherwise, I wouldn't even promote them at all. But if you ask me which one I actually use in real life for my own business or which I'd recommend to my close friends or family, it's Northwest, no hesitation, hands down. Again, links down below if you want to get started with them. That's the review.